Hey there, I'm Lance and I'm a gamer.
I'm Sam and I'm a non-gamer.
And we are Love to Hate, where we try to help gamers find great games to play with non-gamers.
And today we're taking a look at Wildstyle by Pandasaurus Games.
Wildstyle is a game in which you play as a gang and you are going about the city trying to tag certain areas, spray painting your logo or whatever. And you're wanting to do this as fast as possible. This is a real-time game and it's a bit of set collection and area control. A little bit of mechanics going on with this particular game. Let me show you how it works down below, and then we'll come back and share our thoughts on it as a gamer and non-gamer. All right, here's Wildstyle from Pandasaurus Games. Let me show you guys how this real-time set collection game is going to work. Now, in this game, you're going to have a city map made up out of these different shaped boards here, and these boards are double-sided, and the number that you play with is dependent on the number of players in the game. And the arrangement that you put these in is also going to change depending on the number of players you have in the game. As it is, I am set up here for a 3-player game, and you would arrange it something similar to this. There are also going to be objective tiles that you are going to be placing out here on the edges, and these are double-sided as well. And you not only have the 3 that I have out here, but you also have 3 others in the game. So you have, 12 different options there for you to play this game with. You have some police car tokens that we'll explain here in a minute, and you have cards in the game as well as player boards and tokens. Now, in this game, what you will be trying to do, you'll be trying to get sets of 3 of a kind with the different icons on these cards. These cards come in 5 different colors: purple, red, green, blue, and yellow, and each of the colors are going to have numbers ranging from 1 to 4 and different icons on the cards. Now, you will be trying to get cards from the decks as well as the discard piles that are arranged throughout the board, and you are trying to, again, get sets of 3 so that you can discard that set to be able to put one of your tokens out here on the map, matching the icon of the cards that you just discard. So if I discard a set of 3 of the police station icons, then I could be able to place my token out here on this spot. And I'm trying to arrange my tokens in different arrangements that correspond to these scoring objectives. That's the name of this game. Now, how this looks in more detail, you are going to have a player aid here that's going to explain what you can do on a turn as your action. Now, this is a real-time simultaneous game in which you take actions simultaneously while other people are taking their own actions. There's no going back and forth. This is all everybody do as many things as you can in the same amount of time. So what are the things you can do? Well, there's 5 different things. The first is you can draw a card. Now, you will start the game with 3 cards in hand, and you'll want to take a look at those 3 cards because it's going to determine what you will probably be doing on your turn. Now, you can only ever have 3 cards in your hand, so right at the very beginning, I'm not going to be able to draw a card. I'm going to have to do something else, such as complete a set or share a card. So let's cover complete a set, or add to a set, excuse me. To do that, I'm going to take one of the cards that I have in my hand, or pairs if I have cards that are the same. So if I had 2 residential cards, for instance, or if they were all 3 residential cards, I could add them to a set. Now, you have a player board here, and you've got space to begin 2 different types of sets. So maybe I play my residential card there, and now I have opening in my hand for another card. And I want to try to put 2 more residential cards on this spot here. I could start another set, so maybe I put my industrial card there, and now I only have 1 card in hand, and I can draw 2 cards. So that looks like something like this. We have 2 different draw piles here, and I can draw from either one. I'm not bound to one or the other, so maybe I draw 1 from this one, and I draw 1 from this one. Now, I just drew 2 cards. I had to do them one at a time. I could not draw 2 cards at once. That's illegal. You have to draw 1 card at a time. And so now I have these cards, and unfortunately, I didn't get what I need. So another action that I might do is I might share a card. And what that looks like is I can take a card that I don't want and put it on top of one of these discard piles. Now, I can only do that if it's empty, or if I'm playing a card that matches the same color or the same icon. So I could put this shopping card here. However, I could not put this railway card on either one of these piles. I would have to put it way over there, and hopefully it's still empty, because again, other players are going to be doing the same thing at the same time as you. Now, again, when I get to where I can complete a set, so if I had 2 more residential cards, for instance, I could take those 3 residential cards, I could take one of my tokens, and I could place it anywhere on the map. Doesn't matter where it's at, so long as it has a residential spot, such as this spot right here. And I take my 3 cards and I set them off to the side, way far away from the rest of the game, so as those cards don't get mixed in with any other cards. And this will continue until I no longer have any chips to place. Now, I only have 6 chips per round to use. And once I use all my chips, then I'm out for the rest of the round. Or this will continue until there are no more cards to draw, because I can also, not only can I draw from these piles, but I can also draw off the top of these discard decks. Now, when I do that, I have to use it in order to complete a set. So I can't take any of these because they're not industrial cards. But if there was an industrial card out here, I could add that to a set to be able to complete it and put another chip out on the board. Now, when somebody does use all of their chips, that's going to signify the end of the round, and all the other players are going to be able to complete the sets that they have on their board using the cards that they have in hand. They can continue to draw new cards. What they can't do, though, they cannot start new sets. They can only complete the sets that they've already started. There's one other action that you can do on your turn, and that is to rush a set. Now, what this looks like is, if I had only 1 or 2 cards for a set and I was really struggling getting that 3rd and final card, then I could rush that set. So I could say, well, I'm not going to sit around and wait for more shopping cards to come out. I'm going to cash in on my shopping card here. I'm going to take one of the police car tokens and set it over next to my playing area. And I'm going to put out one of my tokens, and that was shopping. So let's see, where is a shopping one? Oh, goodness, I can't find any of them. And this is part of the game, too, being able to see where those spots are on the board. And what that will do, having taken this police car token, there's no immediate penalty for doing this. But at the end of the game, when it comes time to score, whenever I have taken any of these tokens, I'm going to remove one of my tokens anywhere on the board for every one of the police car tokens that I have. And that's essentially going to cost me points. Now, you will play 3 rounds of this. Once a round is over, you will get all the cards, shuffle them all back up, put them in your discard piles, clear off these discard piles over here, and you'll just reset everything. You'll leave any tokens that are out on the board where they're at. You'll get 6 new tokens to use for this round. And you'll do this again, and you'll play 3 rounds of this, and at the end of the 3rd round, you'll go into final scoring. How that's going to work, again, you'll remove any tokens for police cars. You'll also remove off tokens that don't have any of your tokens adjacent to them. So that's great because I have 2 that are side by side. However, that would not be good because I don't have any around either one of those, so I would have to take off both of them. So you really want to try to keep your tokens adjacent to your own tokens. What you're trying to do is you're trying to fulfill these scoring objectives that are around the board, but you're also going to gain points based off the different icons. And here's how the scoring breakdown works. You get 1 point for the railroad stations and the railroads, 2 points for the residential, shopping and industrial, or commercial, 3 points for industrials and parks, and 4 points for police stations. Now, normally you can only have 1 color token on each space. You can't share spaces. However, you can share the train station spaces, and all players will get to score that for whoever has placed on those spots. And that's really pretty much the game here. Whoever has the most points is going to be the winner, and that is how you play Wildstyle. Let's go back up top and share our thoughts on this game. And we're back, and now we're going to share our thoughts on Wildstyle from a gamer and non-gamer's perspective. So Sam, first impressions, what'd you think of this?
I'm not really a fan of real-time games.
Okay.
Typically, they're not my favorite. I did think it worked really well with this one. But just looking at it, you have the city. It looks very busy. It looks like there's a lot going on.
Yes.
But I think it's very deceiving.
Yeah, I'll be honest, when I see this first out on the table, I don't know what to think about it, because it is busy, like Sam said, and by it being busy, I worry if it would be intimidating to some people and push people away from it. I know for me, it wasn't an appeal that drew me into the game. I look at it and I think, I don't know if I want to play that too much. So it just has that busyness that I think maybe pushes people away a little bit. You do have cards, and you got a lot of those tokens. As Sam said, it's a real-time game. So I think there's some things just right off the bat that maybe set this game in a negative light. Now, is that fair or not? I don't know. You be the judge as we kind of share our thoughts on what we thought of the gameplay. So that being said, what did you think of the gameplay with this game?
I really liked it. It's super fast, but very easy to understand. You're trying to get it's groups of 3, right?
Yes, yeah.
Groups of 3 to be able to put your tile down. And ultimately, you want things together as much as possible. You're trying to meet certain goals, but I thought it was very easy to understand. It was not a game where I had to ever stop and ask for clarification, which I think is great for a real-time game because there's not time for that.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's probably one of the best things about this game is that because it's real time, the game is built upon the stress and the anxiety of a real-time game. And it needs to do that in a manner that allows everybody to feel like they can play and not have to stop and answer a question or ask a question. And you don't have that with this game, so it really kind of lets that build and thrive. And so you mentioned that it's just a simple matter of getting those cards. I found getting the cards to be the difficult part of the game because you get overloaded with all these cards you don't want and don't need, and then you're having to pile them up. I think
they did well, though, getting to use the discard areas to an extent. And so you're not completely limited to just what's in your hand. After that, you get to go off of your partner or opponent's cards and the discard areas. And I think that's really good.
Yeah, I thought so, too, because I could see a game like this really faltering in the sense that, well, I made a choice based off the limited information that I had. And the choice I made was wrong because now that card's not coming up and now I'm stuck. I can't do anything for half of the whole round.
And it may happen at the very end of the game, but overall, that's not an issue.
Right, yeah, because something will work out for you. Whether that be you find the card you need because somebody discarded it, it's on top of one of the discard piles, or something is going to happen for it to work out for you to get what you want. So I like that happens in this game. I've had it happen in other games where it doesn't happen and it just ruins the whole game because I can't do anything now. So this, I'm stuck. You don't have that with this game, so that's a good thing. All right, let's get to pros and cons. What are the pros that work real well for you with this game?
I think we've said most of them. It's the fact that it's very quick, it's easy to understand, and that you're not completely limited to what's in your hand. I think they really thought about that, and that's a huge bonus in this game, because if you play it and really think about, okay, what if I was limited to what's in my hand? It would be a completely different game. And I think once you look at it, the components are nice. The markers are nice. It may look busy, but when you look closely, it makes sense. It's a city. And so, I just think it has a lot of good qualities about it.
Yeah, I think Pandasaurus, they make great games. Production quality-wise, everything about it is top-notch. I will say I wish the insert was a little bit better. I know that's not anything that you probably care about, but the way this box is sitting right here, and this isn't just the box cover, this is the whole box. I can guarantee you if I open it up right now, all those tokens are all over the place. So that's just one minor quibble that I have with it. You probably really need to store it so you can hear that. You can probably, you need to store it horizontally, not vertically.
Do a whole video on what he feels about box inserts.
Any other pros that work for you with this?
No, not really. I think it's well thought through.
Okay. All right. What doesn't work too well for you?
I don't think there's anything straight up that just doesn't work. I can see how this game may not be some people's cup of tea because of the real-time aspect. But overall, I can't think of anything that's just straight up a negative.
Yeah, no, I don't think that there's anything about it that I felt like, oh, why'd they do that? I think for me, maybe the only negative is that it it feels over before it really begins. And what I mean by that is like, because it's real time and it's quick go, then you get through those 3 rounds and then it's over.
Yeah.
And, you know, you kind of feel like, well, I wish there was more to it. I wish there was, you know, another round or something.
I think with real-time games, you're going to have one of 2 issues. It's either going to be great for gamers in that real-time aspect, but gamers aren't going to be able to stop, or non-gamers are not going to be able to stop and ask questions because it's real-time, or it's going to be on the easier side. Non-gamers are going to like it because they don't have to ask questions, but it's going to be a little light for gamers.
Yeah.
And it's hard to find a real-time game that's going to be perfect for gamers and non-gamers.
I would say, I think Sam is exactly right. This game leans more to the lightweight, non-gamer, casual gamer than it does maybe the heavier gamer for sure. So. All right, that being said, let's put our scores on this game. What, for you, scale of 1 to 10, where does a Wildstyle come in at?
I really enjoyed this game, and I want to play it more, so I'd probably give it a 7.6.
Okay, yeah. I figured you were pretty high on it. I could pick that up as she was playing it, that she really enjoyed it. And as I've said in other videos, whether it's fair to say it or not, for me, whenever somebody else is really enjoying the game, that increases my enjoyment of the game. When somebody's not enjoying the game, that lowers it for me. And so that may not be fair or not as it comes to scoring a game, but I do enjoy it because I know she enjoys it. And so that being said, I would give it a 7.3. I think this is a solid game, and it's one that I think would be a great game to pick up if you've got somebody in your life that is a casual gamer, maybe a non-gamer.
I think this is a great game for teenagers.
Okay, yeah.
And it says 14 plus. I think you can probably go a little younger.
I think you can definitely go younger than 14.
Our almost 11-year-old could probably play this. And maybe the real-time aspect would be a little difficult, but I think this is a really good one for those new teenagers.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think anybody who's able to just reflex and see, okay, that's not what I want, I'm going to put it down. Oh, that is what I want. Okay, now I got 3, and now I'm
teenagers like that really quick turnover, and so this would be great for them.
Yeah, there's a lot of energy with this game.
Yeah.
So, well, there you have it. That's our thoughts on Wildstyle. It's from Pandasaurus Games. Leave us some comments down below. Let us know what you think about this game.
Make sure to like and subscribe and push that bell button so you get notifications of all our new content.
I'm Lance.
I'm Sam.
And we are Love to Hate, where we try to bridge the gap between gamers and non-gamers. We'll catch you next time.